Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No,
make sure that all of the volumes are equal.
Yep.
So when I listen to it in my car, because I listen to Apple Podcasts, and I like to listen to our show, drives my daughter nuts. She thinks I'm an egomaniac.
Why are you listening to yourself?
Well, what's interesting, if it's a really good podcast like Sean Rocket.
Oh, yeah. So lots to take away.
I wanted to listen to it again because when I'm in the podcast, sometimes I don't really connect with what the content is. Oh, Bruce Wayne, dude, you're the bomb.
Thank you, Bruce.
You're like fan number one. Love it. But make sure the volumes are equal, because like my volume was a little loud versus say yours and Sean's. And I do talk close to the mic, probably too.
I try to turn Sean's up a little bit, and I think that's one of the things that's, I think, maybe difficult from having people on is depending on what mic that they're on, how the sound comes through.
Definitely 100%. That's one thing that's going to annoy me so we got Tim Dymmel coming on from CrossFit.
Palo. His audio sucks.
Yeah, and I was going to send him a mic.
I was going to say this. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Let's all the shit talking we want to do about Tim. Let's do it right now before he gets on.
Because you know he's not listening.
No, he's coaching class right now. He's actually working as an affiliate owner. We're screwing around with the podcast.
We already had I already coached opening this morning.
So that's right.
I've got it out of my belt.
Jamie Lee coached this morning, so he's allowed the fog factor where your brain gets a little foggy because you get up at 3:30 to come in here and coach early in the morning.
It is an actual fact.
That is a fact. It ruins it. And for anybody that does early morning classes, there's people that get up. When I got up, when I was in the markets, working in the investment markets, I would get up regularly at 4 in the morning, and it was a routine. But I would go to bed early, and once you get in the routine, your body gets used to it, and it's okay. It's probably not healthy because I probably wasn't getting enough sleep during those years. But when you don't get up at that early, so my normal wake time is usually around 6 o'clock, 6:30, and then I go take the dogs. But when I get up for the Monday morning that I coach, I get up at 3:45 in the morning, and it's okay at first. Like the classes go great and I feel good, but then about
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Like I start to get the brain fog, and then later in the day I have trouble focusing, staying on task. I take a nap. That doesn't help. That makes me groggy. And it takes me almost a full day to recover.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
I feel like I can run on adrenaline a little bit, like, because that first few classes, like you get into a groove, you're rolling with it. And then it's, as soon as the class is over, it's like, if we can come right into the podcast, I can kind of carry that momentum. But having any kind of lull or downtime, I know you like to, for a while there, you were enjoying that couch that was in here.
Oh yeah. Come in, take a nap right after.
I couldn't do that. If I came in and take a nap, it'd be game over.
Well, Matthew Walker, the sleep specialist, other sleep specialists said the nap is helpful, though admittedly I'm groggy after for about an hour after.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah. How long do you sleep? You sleep for like
usually 45
15
minutes.
Oh, 40?
It's almost 45 minutes exactly too, which is really weird. Like I fall down on every single time. It's 45 minutes.
If I go over 25 minutes, I'm like the most in a daze.
Yeah. Which really speaks to I think the effects of sleep deprivation. Shift workers can get around, and we have shift workers here, nurses,
doctors,
first responders that have to work in the evenings and then they sleep. But the ones that I've talked to really set up systems where they go into room darkening. And like I was talking to, I think Sean Raphael, when he was doing shift work, and he said he didn't have a problem because he had a nice quiet room, dark, and he was able to do it. And I think the younger you are, probably the easier it is.
For sure.
Because it's definitely harder on me getting up earlier in the morning when I get older if I don't get my sleep.
Yeah.
The people I think that have the biggest problem and should be thoughtful about it are the first responders that are at the station. So say like firefighters, EMT, where they have to, like, they go down and then they have to wake up to go on their calls.
I think that's like anybody, like on call, doctors.
On call people.
If you're on call, like I couldn't imagine being able to kind of have any kind of downtime, because it's like, mentally, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm always ready and prepared. It's like, how do you get that down?
There is that process that, and Huberman talks about this, and you can look it up. Huberman talks about it in one of his recent podcasts, and Dr. Rhonda Patrick. They're all friends, by the way. Peter Attia, Huberman.
They're all California
they're
guys,
all,
right?
Yeah, they're Stanford people.
Yeah.
Though I think Rhonda Patrick is UC Berkeley. That said, one of the things that happens with the brain, and I think Matthew Walker talks about this too, the sleep specialist, is that in the deepest part of your sleep, there is a flush where your brain actually fluid comes in, and it may be spinal fluid, but comes into the brain and then exits. And it's basically cleaning out, like it's cleaning out the whatever byproduct is produced as a result of the energy consumption of the brain, right? Because the brain's burning basically glucose to operate.
Yeah.
And so it comes in, flushes that out, and cleans that out. And it is the interruption of that process, it is believed, that may contribute to dementia. Later in life, that if you're not getting that flush happening on a regular basis,
all that byproduct,
so
sitting there.
So knowing that makes me like so fucking paranoid because now I think about it. Like if I was younger, it probably would have been actually good to know for me younger. I would have thought about it, and so I think about, am I flushing that shit out of my brain?
Yeah,
I guess no one wants anything
sitting up there,
sitting anywhere,
corroding
right?
away.
Within your body, right? You don't want it anywhere.
Yeah, not in your muscles.
No, yeah, you don't want any extra stuff in there. Which brings us to the vaccine. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go there. Jamie Lee and I have agreed that we're not going to touch any of the.
Yeah, we had a pretty good conversation before coming on. Not about topics. That, but about some other triggering topics.
Yeah,
who knows? It might come up when Tim comes on.
Within the CrossFit world, there are a number of. And it's almost like the community's just hungry for something to argue about, or get
drama. Just hungry for drama. It's like a TV show.
And
it's
that's
like the drama in a TV show.
That's normal in any community, but there are some within the community that know exactly how to provoke CrossFitters.
Yeah.
And they know, even if it's themselves, like they know how to trigger CrossFitters, and so and there are media outlets that take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I've been told, and some of the people who listen to this podcast say, hey, you need to have more clickbait headlines.
Yeah.
I will do sensational headlines, to try and draw attention to the individual.
Yeah.
But I have avoided doing any clickbait headlines.
Clickbait just doesn't seem genuine. It's like here, let me get you fired up and then bring you in to talk about something.
When I pull up my YouTube, and I look at it, especially on the big screen where I can have, you see all the previews,
all the
stuff on
everything else. Yeah.
I admit that I am drawn to the ones where there's, where Hiller says natty or not, or, or the CrossFit Games going away, that kind of stuff.
CrossFit dead.
Yes, CrossFit dead. Right. I look at those things, and I used to, click and watch the content and just kind of see and try to fast forward to get to the gist of what they were talking about. Just go, oh, and then I go, oh, okay, well, that's not what they're
saying. Then you can roll your eyes and just move on with your day.
Right. But now, because that's happened a few times, I don't even look at them. Now I see it and I'm like, okay, they're just trying to draw me in.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like I'm, you're being coerced. You're being, and that,
like I said,
I don't
like a genuine thing.
No, I don't think it'll last, right? Because that doesn't work for advertising for very long. Because eventually people see through that, and then they discount you because they discount your overall quality because they think that you're baiting and switching them.
Yeah, it's like once you've been labeled a clickbaiter, right? Like you're known for it. You'll have your same people that continue to follow because they enjoy the content,
right?
But then those that just don't want to be, misled into a conversation that's like not what it was intended to be, like based off of what the thumbnail says, it's like you could just move on.
You will never see an ad that says Ferrari is sending or building a car that's going to launch it to the moon, right?
Yeah.
Which would be like, that's the clickbait, right? Yeah. And you click on it and then you'd see, it's, what they've done is they've worked with a rocket company that, that has engineered amazing engines to enhance their engines. And so, and they make that kind of reference to something like that. But Ferrari wouldn't do that.
No. Tesla would.
Ferrari. Oh, touche. Ferrari's going to rely upon its heritage, its quality, its reputation that it's built over the years.
Didn't they just make an EV?
I don't know if
I saw something that they were talking. Maybe it was clickbait. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
they were trying to do it, but it was the sounds were pumped in.
Oh.
The sound of the engine was a Ferrari engine, but it was an electric car.
No,
it's like just let it be an electric car.
Yeah, okay. You say that, yet you drive a Tundra.
I know, which I would love to get rid of that fucking pumped-in sound.
A Tundra hybrid that has pumped-in sound, which sounds really cool because I drove a car.
It sounds cool, yeah.
I drove that truck, and it sounds great, and there's something about it. And at first, I was like, oh, I can't believe there's a synthetic sound with this truck. And then I drove it for a while, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm all right with that synthetic sound.
There's times where it's like, I just go to accelerate if I got it in like eco mode or something. It's like,
right,
all right, this is a little, this doesn't.
But Toyota's another one. Like they're not going to use, just insane ads. Dodge does these. They're doing these. Have you seen their TRX YouTube videos?
No,
the TRX truck.
No.
So they've been doing these. YouTube releases. Or no, Instagram shorts.
No, I haven't seen any of those.
just do hashtag TRX, which is the super high performance 750 horsepower truck that they have, which is by the way, that's way too much horsepower for a pickup truck. Having driven a 300 horsepower truck, a 350 horsepower truck, driving I can't even imagine what a 750 horsepower truck is.
The Tundra's 427.
It's a 427.
427.
Yeah, 427. That thing's a race car.
Yeah.
Jamie owns the Tundra that I originally purchased, and I see it from time to time, and I reminisce. But I told your wife, I said it's probably a good thing that I don't own it because it's so fun. Thing was so fun to drive. Anyway, the TRX. So what they do, they have these. At first, I saw it. I'm like, and it shows the TRX accelerating to get on the freeway, and it does a wheelie. It does a wheelie onto the freeway, and then loses control, and then they cut it right as it looks like it's about to crash. And they've got about a dozen of them out there,
really?
and I'm drawn into them every time. And I'm like, okay, they got me to watch it. Would they get me to buy it? No. And part of the reason because I think that's hokey, and it's like, okay, well, if they're having to do sensational stuff, clickbait stuff, eventually people are gonna
buy on to.
Well, eventually people are just gonna go, well, they're doing that because they don't have high quality or really good content that really should draw people in.
That's a good point.
That was a long discussion about why we aren't doing clickbait and are not going to be drawn into the clickbait that some CrossFit news media like to do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what, and I'm going to call them out actually, because Morning Chalk Hub does that.
It's not the first time.
No, they do it they've done it with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I will tell people that are drawn in, including me, because I comment on the post, and I probably shouldn't even comment on the post.
You and me both.
Because it's just giving fuel to their. It's how they're drawing it. So
adding to their algorithm.
Yeah, they are unable to draw people in with their quality journalism, so they resort to tactics like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's, in some cases, I don't think it's healthy for CrossFit, because you draw in sometimes the extremists that may be inappropriate, mm-hmm. or leave inappropriate comments, and then people jump on the bandwagon and say, well, once
the trolls start getting in, then that's when it gets toxic.
Terrible. Yeah. And so we're not going to, I was trying to get Dave Castro on for today. He and I have been trading text messages about being on the podcast or having a conversation, because I tweeted something about
the affiliate cup,
saying it's time to end the affiliate cup competition, and consider moving to a something like the international invitational event.
Yes.
Because of what my experience was with that, and that I made that reference to the international team competition because Rich Froning and Jason Kalipa were recently on a podcast with on the Savant podcast.
Savant, yeah.
He drew them on both together, and Jason pointed to his jersey in the back that was on his wall behind him, which was his jersey from the international competition where he was on the same team with Rich Froning. And he said, this is one of my prized possessions. And Rich said the same thing. Rich goes, yeah, me too. Look right here. And he had his jersey.
Yeah.
And Rich said, out
of all of his accomplishments.
Yeah. He goes, I don't even know where he goes, I'm embarrassed to say I don't even know where my games medals are. I think I have them in a drawer somewhere. And that's not it's not
taken away from the games.
It's not taken away from the games. It's just, he's doing it, he is a humble man.
Well, when you think about it too, though, like you have 40 men and women, 40 men, 40 women that qualify and compete at the games. How many people compete in the international invitational?
Right.
6 from a country.
That's right.
So it's definitely more highlight. Like
it was more significant, but you're also representing something more than yourself.
True.
Right. You're representing something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. It's going beyond the box.
And there was these were really, these are really good competitions where there was a threat that any country could win. So you had to perform. Like these guys didn't mail it in.
No.
And then you felt like you were fighting for your country.
Yeah.
In a, on a competitive sport level, which is really cool.
Country or continent.
Look, both Jason and Rich, like, just were really proud of their accomplishments there. Yeah. And that spoke to me because I didn't think that they would be as, I thought that they might think of it as, or they might look back upon it as, oh yeah, that was something that CrossFit had us do. And we
like
did
an exhibition thing.
Yeah, like an exhibition thing. But it was clearly, based upon the conversation with them, was more than that.
Yeah.
Which led to my suggestion that perhaps that should come back in place of the Affiliate Cup competition, which has essentially evaporated into a pro team type system.
Not so much Affiliate Cup.
Right. It's what group of 4 athletes can you get together that are fitter than a group of 4 athletes, which comes down to not necessarily the fitness of the athletes as much as it is their ability to get 4 people together and train together and show up together to want to work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that becomes one of the elements of whether or not you win the CrossFit Games as a team. Can Noah Olson and Chandler Smith can come together because they're buddies? Can any other team pull together 2 male athletes that'll be friends and work together?
And at the same time, bring in a couple girls that also have the same vibes.
Yeah. Well, right.
Because that's a whole different dynamic that people may not realize when they look at a team. It's not just a team of guys. It's a team of guys and girls.
Necessarily the fittest. A test of the fitness. It's a test of
most cohesive.
Who can organize the group of fittest people?
Yeah. So how would you if they decided, hey, Craig, what do we do instead of the Affiliate Cup? Kill the Affiliate Cup and bring back Invitational? Is it country based? Is it continent based? Like how would you see that?
So it's not instead of, first of all, my point 2 was made in order to separate the pro athletes from everything else.
Yes.
And by everything else, I mean teams, I mean masters, I mean adaptive athletes. Those competitions should be separate events, in my opinion. That if the sport if we want to make the sport a more recognized, more supported, more sponsored event with less distractions and especially at a lower cost, because all of those other elements add significant cost to the production of the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
You remove those elements and now you have more capital to work with. You have a better P&L, and you have, I think, more for the fans to watch and not be more for the fans to focus on or not be distracted by other stuff.
More resources to go towards the end goal versus kind of spreading it out.
100%.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is you get sponsors, vendors, the individual athletes, pro athletes, performance at the CrossFit Games, that is a spectator sport.
Mm-hmm.
We love to watch it in person, and we love to watch it
on TV.
We love to watch the clips afterwards.
Yep.
The masters athletes, and I've been there, and you can argue with me all day wrong, but you'll be wrong and I'll be right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the benefits of being 60 years old and a 17-year affiliate owner, and in this CrossFit game experience since 2007, really, because we watched in 2007, 2008 is when we started participating as athletes. The masters, adaptive athletes, and teams are not they're not spectator sports.
Yeah.
They're participatory sports.
Yeah.
People want to do them. They want to be a part of it. They want to compete in it. And the people that do come and spectate it are the family and friends, but probably 90%. If all you have to do is go to a CrossFit Games and stroll into any heat of the teams, any heat of the Masters division, and watch it versus the individuals.
I remember back in the day when it was in Carson, we had the team competing. We had a huge show up of our members and affiliate coming out to support. I mean, there's videos of the stands counting down DCF.
Yes.
But
those were family and friends.
Those are family and friends. But my point is that group of people left after the teams were over and would come back to base camp and hang out.
Yes.
And we would watch like the individual stuff, like on the big screen that showed up. Like it wasn't even this, like you said, it's the friends and family that are coming to support, and they're not necessarily sticking around for all of the individuals.
That's right. I miss that.
Me too.
That was really unbelievable. I don't think at a national or global international level that's possible anymore.
No,
because as soon as you raise the level of awareness of it, then you start to draw in other athletes from other gyms that want, and they start to and it's a natural instinct in order to be more competitive as you bring in other athletes, and then you kind of undermine the whole community,
the affiliate base. You said it perfectly. It was like 2014, 15. A team built out of the affiliate is organic, and one that is not is just manufactured. One is good for the community and one is not.
That's right.
And we've been through that with, bringing people in, and it does create a lot of animosity between the people, and it kind of drags on the vibe overall.
Yeah, it does. So, and that's not to take away from to team competitions.
Not at all.
They're fun to be in, and I get it. But I think it needs to be separate from the CrossFit Games. Now, the team competition that did work and that was exciting was this international format. And I think that could be a separate competition, though I thought about it this morning in detail. So CrossFit, I don't know what the first year they did it, but they did an invitational, invited the best athletes from each country or continent to come together as a team. They either would have 3 or 4 teams, I think.
Was this the USA versus Worlds? Because there was like a few different variations.
Yeah, there's different variations, but all of the competitions, the very first one they did was in Berlin.
Yeah,
and they did a team competition there, and it sold out. I remember Tony Budding telling me it sold out in like 3 hours, and it was like 13,000 people came and watched it.
What? I didn't realize it was that many people. I thought it was like in a little studio.
I think it was like over 10,000 people.
Wow.
And they broadcast it. Tons of people watched it. It was exciting to watch. And it was, look, Europe is growing very rapidly, as Daniel Chaffee told us. They're the fastest growing segment of CrossFit in the world. And so they're and same with Latin America. They're just hungry to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that there's a fan base that would want to watch the teams as long as it had those top athletes on those teams, and they're representing their countries.
So would this invitational take place like a couple months after the games?
Yeah, I like that. You know why I like that? Because it's a way
gives them a time to download.
Well, download, but also showcase the athletes that were just at the games that you might not have been able to see.
Yeah.
At the games. So then, if they do it in a specific, especially if they do it outside the U.S., people will I think they'd eat it up. There's a couple of issues that would prevent this from happening. One is competing with things like Rogue Invitational, Wadapalooza,
other individual competitions out of season.
You put the athletes at risk because of potential injuries. these aren't, most of them aren't team athletes, though in the past they've come together pretty well. Alessandra Pacelli participated on Team Canada a few times, and she enjoyed it. She said there was challenges with all the egos working together, and so you need a strong captain that, like Rich Froning with USA was good. Canada, I think, struggled because there's a kind of a difference of opinion as to how things should be done and executed.
Well, especially with Sandra, because she's got a lot of experience from the team side. And I'm sure if she tried to share some stuff with a bunch of individuals that have no experience with the team, I could see them not fully grasping the hustle that you need to have.
But imagine this, a 2-hour event, a 2.5 hour, maybe tops 3-hour event, where there's say
5, 6,
no,
4, 3,
no, three teams, maybe 4 teams.
Oh, I was thinking event wise.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, event.
5, 6 events.
Yeah, 5, 6 events. So I just got a text from Tyler Watkins, and he said Fort Worth, baby.
Oh, really?
So I wonder if there's.
Did they announce it?
Yeah, it looks like it was announced.
Hell yeah.
We called it.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, the Fort Worth is amazing. We'll talk about that. Maybe we can get that pulled up. But anyway, what I want to ask, what I want to tell people is, hey, can you imagine, a 2.5 hour, 3-hour event? Yeah, like Jamie Lee said, maybe 3 to 5 events where you got the best athletes in the world competing, maybe 3, 4 teams doing these events in an arena. And based upon our grid league experience, and if you don't know what grid is, just Google grid fitness competition, and you'll see all of it. And it was exciting. It was very high quality production stuff, but it was fun as hell to go watch those events.
It was really
really fun. And you could, there's so many things you could do with that type of format. Jamie Lee suggested you bring in 6 athletes per team, and then you allow for substitutions. Maybe maybe do a head-to-head competition. Your best male athlete, your best female athlete go against the best male athlete.
It could be something like you've got maybe 3 chippers. They're going to take place one after another. You have to play one male, one female for this chipper or for this couplet, and then you go on to a chipper, and then you're gonna go and it could be super fast and super high intense, which would be so fun to watch.
Yes, you could really make it fun to watch. I think it would be fun to watch online. It would be great to watch online. I'd have a viewing party here. We'd be rooting for Team America. And then you could, and then I think, especially if you did it in Europe or Australia, or, where they were very, very good at filling stands, you bring it to one of those events, you do it there. The downside is, so
I got a YouTube video up here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll do it.
It's like 40 seconds.
We'll wait till Tim comes on.
Okay.
But you do that, and you'll draw the people into it. But here's the thing. I kind of did an estimate of costs. It would probably be about $50,000 per team to get them there.
Per team.
As
far as like logistics.
Yeah, right. Because you want to bring them there a few days in advance. You got to bring them there probably a week in advance, so they can train together a little bit.
At least getting on the right time frame, like the time zone. Because if you're coming from a different part of the world, the time zone change is going to
then there's that's the other part, right? So a conservative estimate, I think, is $50,000 per team, because you got to pay the athletes too. So you got to make it worth their while to go there. So paying them,
especially if they're putting risk at potential injuries and
so let's say it's 4 teams. That's $200,000 right there, just in travel, entertainment, meals, lodging, and paying the athletes. And then you got the venue, and the venue's probably going to be, I would think for something like that, probably $25,000 minimum for a venue, minimum. So maybe 50,000, but let's call it 50,000 so we can be on the upside. Now you got your $250,000 just for the venue, and then you got the production costs and the media production, which is probably about another $100,000 to $150,000. So now you're at like $500,000,
$500,000.
If you want to do it right, I think, to produce it, so they watch it, everything else, $500,000.
Yeah.
So let's assume you got 10,000 seats. And if I did the math on that, I should be able to do that in my head, but I'm 60 and I'm losing it. So if you did 500,000 divided by 10,000, that's $50 a seat to cover the cost of production.
That's completely feasible.
I think so.
As far as like you getting enough people to come to a venue,
I'd pay $50 to watch that.
I mean, people, how much are the tickets to the games?
And then you get concessions. Maybe you work out a deal where you get concessions, everything else. But then what you've got to get, what you've got to get then is sponsorships.
Yeah.
So now you got to get sponsorships, and then you got to get. And I think people would pay online, so you put it behind a paywall. Because if you can get
and just stream it versus trying to go through.
You get $100,000. You get 100,000 viewers, and you get 100,000 people paying $5 each.
Yeah.
Just to view it online. Kind of pay-per-view type thing. Now you get another half. Now you get another 500,000.
Yeah.
So now it becomes doable.
Yeah.
So it's within reach. It's expensive, but it's within reach. The question becomes: is it something that CrossFit, I think, would have to have an entire team dedicated to this, because you don't want to take all your games people and put them towards this, because they don't have the time, the resources, the energy, all of that stuff. So it's almost as if they need to outsource something like this.
Yeah.
You go to a Wadapalooza, or you go to a
somebody that's running those bigger,
that
has been running, not somebody that's going to start.
No. I think the guys in Australia and the guys that run the events, the Madrid Championship, Torian Pro.
Yeah.
You go to them.
Yeah.
And you let them do it. And the reason why is because CrossFit's got 150 employees. There's no way that they have the resources to do this.
Yeah.
But I love the idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea. And then affiliate team stuff, you just let that happen at a local level.
I feel like the affiliate team stuff,
you just let it happen at a local level.
Let it grow organic.
Yeah, let it grow organic.
Let it do what CrossFit did.
Yeah.
Want to bring Tim in?
Is he here?
Yes.
Well, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Because bringing Tim in is always high risk. Like, I want to make sure we're completely done with our last topic, because he'll completely discount.
He might agree. I don't know.
So Dave said they're announcing the games venue this week. Well, we do know that they apparently have announced Fort Worth.
I got the video right here
today. So we'll show some of the video, but let's bring Tim in. Make sure all his sound and everything is good.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, sir. I just want to let you know.
Hang on.
Hang on. Product placement.
Did you run to the store to get that? Literally starts that.
Run? My wife's a runner. I don't run.
He's probably got a fridge full of them in his gym.
Tim, I do want to let you know, I texted Tim last night to ask him to be on the podcast, only because the other guests that I tried to get on declined.
Thank you for coming.
And so Tim's such a good friend. He's willing to be like the
booty call. Hey, what are you doing?
Come on over. Hop on the call, man.
My podcast booty call.
We'll send you a link. We'll send you a link in 5.
Oh man, that's so good.
That's what I tell people when they want to join for like a one day. Can I sign up for one day? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Or like, how can I just buy like a punch card? No booty calls.
That's exactly what it is. We don't do that either.
I feel like having some CrossFit today.
Yeah, it's or I'm doing yoga and Pilates and Orange Theory, and I only want to do CrossFit on the weekends.
I need some strength.
Yeah,
weekend strength training.
Yeah. Vinny K says I'll take a Craig Howard booty call anytime. That's great. I'm 60 years old, bro. I can't. Booty calls ain't happening for a lot of reasons.
It's just a couple.
You don't get those Instagram ads for the.
I do. Well, look at this. Yeah, see at the announcement of Lulu.
Coincidences.
All right. So I said it earlier.
I missed it. I heard you said so they called it.
Yeah, Fort Worth, and we'll put that on in a second here. But I asked Dave, and David mentioned again on his podcast because I had made some freaking comment on Twitter. I tweeted something about teams, and he was about bringing back the international and doing away with the team competition at the games. And then he said, yeah, I need to go on his podcast. So of course, me just kind of like, Dave's going to come on our podcast. Holy shit. Right. So I'm like, I text him enough to not be that annoying guy and just enough to maybe I can get him in. So I texted him yesterday, and he's the kind of guy that would be like 10 minutes before, sure, I'll come on your podcast.
Yeah. And
so I kept it open. So I didn't invite, because I invited him into the podcast, I didn't invite anybody else. But I knew Tim wouldn't mind, and Tim is friends with Dave as well. So if Tim was on and Dave came on, I thought that'd be cool too. Tim.
Oh yeah, we're like, it's practically BFFs. Me and Dave.
You get
way back.
So you're not too far away from each other, too, right?
There's 3 guys on this podcast. Who of the 3 has gone and shot guns with Dave?
No,
Tim.
Well, yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I didn't shoot. It was actually Luke. Luke shot.
So his son shot.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so your son went down and shot with guns with Dave.
Well, we were at the. He had a meet and greet thing with the sheriff candidate.
Oh, that's cool.
He invited people. He said, "Hey, come down if you're in the, if you want to come down and shoot guns." And I was like, "Dude, let's go."
Yeah, and he spent time with his son.
That's awesome.
Show him how to balance. He's got a cool setup because we drove around when Tim and I went down there for the Fitness Freedom we were at?
Fitness Freedom, yeah.
And Dave drove us around in the golf cart, his souped up golf to all-terrain cart, and showed us all his shooting spots.
That's cool.
Oh, it's really cool. Dude, across ravines, he goes, you see that little tiny thing across, and it's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
The setup he has for himself.
He's running a lot of like shooting comps out of the space too.
I got to be honest with you. If you guys, if anybody has any criticisms of Dave, follow both of his Instagrams.
TDC.
That son of a bitch works his ass off.
Yeah.
Like, he is doing competition.
He's got olive oil.
Dude, even company. When he came back and he was being announced to run the games again, and he only had like a couple months.
Yeah.
And the very next week, he's running a shooting competition.
Yeah.
Hosting it. And if anybody's hosting any type of events, it's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah. He's probably had that already like booked out, and then CrossFit's like, hey, come on back.
No. If anybody that's worked for Dave Castro doesn't like Dave Castro, it's only because he outworked him. I guarantee. And then he made him feel bad because they couldn't work as much as he does.
Probably a humbling experience, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that all this ass kissing will have him end up on my podcast at some point in time.
I think he really responds to that sort of thing.
Yeah, just like one time, he's like, call him direct. He loves that.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
He's the best.
He's the best.
So anyway, so he made an announcement. So
you may pull it up?
Yeah, Travis at the Heat One app. We'll give him a plug.
Tyler.
Travis at Vindicate. He didn't message me, but I got hit. That's why I got confused. And Tyler at Heat One app just texted me and said that the announcement was made and it's Fort Worth. And let's pull it up, but we can run a little bit of it and see what it says. See if there's anything cool. Just so our viewers don't tune us out to go into the broadcast, we'll bring it to you.
Whoa, look at this.
Yeah.
You guys are high tech. Man, things really go when Jamie's here.
Yeah, but he doesn't have sound for it yet.
Yeah. Let me bring it back. Reset audios.
Games are going big. Does that mean?
All right, here we go. Yeah.
Welcome to the new home of the CrossFit Games.
Dickey's Arena. I got to give it to.
There's too many memes available now. Mod Zombie's gonna have a field day.
This is though when we were down at the games, and Ken from Sherpa Works said that it was Fort Worth and it was Dickey's Arena. And Dickey's,
so he called the arena too.
Yeah, he did. And it's brand new. Fort Worth is a cool town.
Awesome.
So let me just get because my wife and I lived in Texas. My brother's a Texan, and I've spent a lot of time down there.
Your brother's a Texan, but you're not.
No, and
you were at one point.
Yeah, we were. We were for 6 years because we have my wife's family's only grandchild. So we moved back so that they could be close to their grandchild. That's the kind of husband I am. I loved Texas.
Take one for the team.
And I love Texas. But anyway, so I've spent a lot of time in Dallas, Fort Worth. And Fort Worth is a really cool town. It's a small town. It's about 10 miles away from Dallas. So it's not like in Dallas. You can get to Dallas. What's really cool, one, there's an awesome airport you can get to from anywhere in the world. So that's literally for athletes the most important thing. There will be no flight delays. It's the biggest, flattest, most expansive airport in the world. It's
tornadoes.
Texas. Everything's bigger. Yeah, tornadoes. Well, so interestingly enough, tornado ripped that town apart. It was probably about 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It went right through downtown Fort Worth. I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but it devastated a lot of buildings. So they literally rebuilt the town, and it is a cool town. And it's home to the annually the largest rodeo in the country in the U.S. And then it also they have the biggest cattle auction. Active cattle auction there. So they have all the facilities to handle a lot of people. And what's really cool is they have amazing RV facilities, right? Yeah. Because people with horses and cattle, they bring in they stay and sleep in the trailers, and the hookups are awesome. Dickey's Arena is an incredible arena, and it's a lot like the Alliance Energy Center, but nicer and newer with all of the media content, because they do the pro. That's awesome. They do the rodeos out of there. So that's badass. And then the town itself has amazing restaurants, some of the best steak restaurants in the world. Like it's just a cool town. There's tons of hotels, the whole 9 yards. And I heard, and I think this is true now because Ken called this from Sherpa Works, because he's the one that told me it was Fort Worth, that he read the bid was public on Fort Worth's site.
He went and looked up like the weekend or something.
And it's a net zero deal for CrossFit, meaning there's no event costs for our event facilities costs. Of course, you got the media production costs that they still have to deal with, but because they're getting a cut apparently of the hotel revenue, the incremental hotel revenue, and it's a fascinating way for cities to draw events into their city. You give them a cut of the hotel revenue. But Fort Worth's amazing, and it's central in the country. It's easier to get to than Madison in terms of drive. I like it because it's a fairly comfortable drive from California.
I have a suggestion.
What?
It's two parts. One, for the podcast, get on board now so you can do your on-site podcast.
Yes.
Get sponsored by a barbecue spot.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And get an athlete that's going to make the games sponsored by barbecue spot, and then they can wear in all their lead up to the games.
That's a cool idea. I really appreciate you sharing that idea.
And if I show up, you can give me some barbecue.
I really appreciate you sharing that podcast, sharing that live on our podcast, so that all other podcasts now can take advantage of that idea. Well,
but no, this is the Gary V model. See, you can come out, you can throw ideas out. No one's going to do it.
That's true. That's true too. And that not many people are watching our podcast.
Yeah. I don't know. How many are watching right now? I mean,
Yeah. By the way, the other part of this too is that bring Tim's volume down just a little. But the other thing that's cool is Southwest Airlines literally has their own airport, and because Love Field, which is
so cheap flights in.
Yeah, so you can get in and out through Southwest. That's a separate airport, and then a
separate.
That's Dallas. The Southwest Airlines has Love Field in Dallas, which is not too far away from Fort Worth. That's a real easy drive over. And then there's the Dallas Fort Worth airport. So there's like multiple ways to get in at a reasonable cost.
So you're saying it's way better than Madison when it comes to travel?
Yes. It is 10 times better. Now, look, it's not going to have the charm of Madison and people.
You won't be able to be outside.
Maybe it'll have a new charm.
Yeah.
Constantly varied charm.
It does have Dickey's Arena's air conditioning. Anybody's worried about that stuff, don't worry. Yeah, it can be 100 degrees there. Make sure your RV has air conditioning and it's working before you go down there. That's all I would say. But they can handle twice as many RVs. And I'll tell you, there's going to be way more.
I was going to say, with the amount of people that are probably able to rent RVs in Texas too.
right.
have them out.
Let me just throw this out right now. Throw this down to Mayhem. We're gonna try and sponsor that. I'm gonna try and steal that sponsorship of the RV park, and we're not gonna put our band. If we get it, like I'm gonna reach out and see how much it is to sponsor that RV park from CrossFit, from the CrossFit Games. And if we get it, we're not gonna put our banners all over it. We're not gonna put some hokey workout area that has, you know, music that wakes every RVer up at 7 a.m,
running every hour, every half hour.
Lord. We will have a rig.
How about something with the Diablo horn logo, but Texas style?
Yeah,
Longhorns.
Yeah,
like Longhorn. Like make a Diablo logo with Texas Longhorns.
I'm doing that today.
There you go. And it's almost like a Vindicate here. He's going to hook you up.
I'm going to do like I'm going to spend 2 hours. He's already working on the logo right now. Yeah. Yep.
Boom.
And what do you mean if it's Fort Worth drivable from Omaha? You literally, dude, you can tie a string to your steering wheel. And tie it to your door and fall asleep and then just set your cruise control for 85 miles an hour because there ain't gonna be anybody else on the road. And you'll go straight south and you'll hit Fort Worth. Yeah. So if it's drivable from Omaha, well, you don't even have to go over any hills or anything. Sorry, Travis is like, he's going to disown me. Travis is going to cancel me. Anyway, Tim, so welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on.
Did you like my list of ideas? Did you?
Yeah, we did.
I think you meant to text Jamie because you rolled your eyes with my topics.
I told him what your topics were. We have it written on.
They're up there, yeah.
We have it written on a whiteboard up here just in case. Tim like, you want to be on the podcast, and boom, sends me back a list of topics that he'll be talking about and whether or not we want to talk about them. So let's get to, we didn't even get to affiliate stuff. By the way,
affiliate stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, shut it up.
Turn that down.
On my cell phone.
Pretty sure he was that guy at one point.
On my cell phone. It's quite possible. Maybe not tidy whities, but I have shorts that were awfully baggy.
Walter White.
My God. Oh, yeah, dude. I've had some Walter White moments. It is, I will tell you, it is for RVing at the games is a really cool experience. So
it's pretty special.
And I will tell you that it is one of the reasons why I'm excited about Fort Worth. That they have such a really cool setup there for RVs. It's just going to that's going to add to the experience.
Is it set up similar to how Madison was, like right there? You walk out your trailer and go right into the games, right into the venue? Yeah,
it's close, okay. Right? So
it's not like you got to jump on a shuttle or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's all really close.
That's super cool.
You know what?
Well, they have like a cattle train that just hop on. They're just always walking.
Yeah.
They're tied together.
Dickey's Arena.
You want me to pull it up on the map?
Park, yeah. RV parking. And there's parking. Ride and Rank RV Park. Oh yeah, see? Yeah, it's right outside the Dickey's Arena. The Ride and Rank RV Park. Ridden. It's all right.
Maybe that's the new sponsor for clothing for CrossFit. They're branching out.
Yeah. So go to Google Maps and pull Ridden RV Park Dickey's Arena. But if anybody doesn't know who Dickey's is, Dickey's makes
clothes.
Yeah, workers' clothes, I want to say. Well, I get a Walmart. But anyway, it said it was Dickey's Arena.
Yeah, I get a Walmart too. It's taking me to Concord.
Right, Montgomery lot.
See, you'll be able to try on the clothes before you buy.
Yeah, we got to be able to pull that up. But I'll let you look.
Maybe Vindicate can make the Texas.
It's called
the Texas Diablo, the Diablo Texas logo on a Dickies T-shirt.
Yeah. It's
you got to cross brand here.
Well, here's you got to. Tim will love this, right? So it's Visiforce, and then there's the PBR, the Professional Bull Riders World Championship is there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kristen and I went to that in Las Vegas many years ago before children.
Right. And when you pull that up, when you pull up the PBR, the first logo you see on there is Monster Energy.
Oh, perfect.
There's a track just a little bit away.
Yeah, zoom in.
Maybe I can get a sponsorship for being a guest.
Right. So zoom in. So I got my
parking lot, yellow lot. I mean, there is a ton of
so it's in
space.
I think it's in one. It's got to be in one of these big parking lots, right around there. But look at off to the right, right? So there's a Texas native border. So there is kind of like a really cool botanical garden and park that's next door.
Almost like an open space.
Really cool open space area. Dude, that's
Rose garden,
Japanese
garden. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
You know what's cool about that?
110 degrees.
Okay, would you stop? Like, why don't you join the CrossFit haters Facebook group?
Haters gonna hate.
but
hey, I lived a summer in Texas. I know what it's all about.
Okay, but so look at they got the river, the Trinity River that goes by, the river walk that goes down. It's like you could do an event next to that.
This is gonna be the 5K.
Yeah, and as long as you
be in the water so they don't get heat stroke.
To do it at
midnight.
Our first event will be at 5 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, what time do they have to wake up to go to San Jose to get on the airplane?
Yeah,
from Carson. That was like
4 a.m.
super early
4 a.m. call. No, there's indoors. There's all kinds of indoors.
That's awesome.
There. I think it's going to be great. But in that downtown area is amazing. The Culture District, all of that. It's a cool town. I'm excited for it. I think Ken said it was a 3-year deal, and if I was CrossFit, I wouldn't do it for less than 3 years.
No.
Here's why: you get economies of time, not necessarily scale, but you get economies of time. So all of the equipment that you have sent down there for the games, you put it in storage containers there. Or nearby.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to pay for transportation again.
So Zeus will be living in some storage container somewhere.
Right. You look at how the CrossFit Games matured in Madison.
Yeah.
It got better and better every year, and the venue changed, and they figured out how traffic flowed within it, how people moved, and you figure all of those things out over time. Look at how good this year was. The best year at the RV park.
Yeah.
And that's what you get that from experience at the venue. If you change it up every year, it's expensive because you got to go in and learn the venue. Where are all the cables? Can we run cables here? Can we put cameras here? Where can we not put cameras? All the bullshit.
I would imagine also setting a deal with the venue itself would probably be better if you signed a multiple year contract.
100%. Right. And there's stuff you can leave up. There's equipment you can leave there. People, the whole thing is just easy. It's got to be a minimum 3 years.
Well, they're going to spend marketing dollars to pump up the event too.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
The tourism board.
Yeah.
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 So after this venue, do they go abroad?
Tim, do you think they go abroad after this?
I don't know. Well, if they could, if like you've said, they, you disconnect all the other things that are attached to it. If you just had 40 elite males and 40 elite females, you take them anywhere you want. You put them on a freaking island in the middle of the Pacific, right? Like, no big deal. You just, CrossFit Survivor, right? Like, because it's only 40, you got 80 athletes. That's nothing.
That's
right? So like, you farm out all the sections, right? Just break it off, and then you can take it wherever you want.
Yeah. So
then you can make it for TV, kind of like you talked about with your history, right? With the grid stuff, right? It's like, if you make it you make a Ninja Warrior style where it's designed for TV, and you don't need a huge on-site population, but you can really understand that you make the money on the views, then take it wherever you want.
Tim's either like in tune with like what we talked about earlier. He was either
I think he might have been
he was
listening.
either listening or he's just listened to me rant to him so many times.
What's that?
It could be
How
that.
we talk about that?
We were literally just talking about
that's exactly right.
Is it?
Yeah, but you make a good point actually, and it's a point that I kind of didn't think about. Is because I thought about the cost savings in terms of all that other stuff, the masters, the adaptives, and the teams, all of that stuff costs a lot of extra money. It's a lot of extra bodies and logistics. It's very difficult. What I didn't think about was you've freed yourself from a lot of obligation, and you can take them to an island. You can take them wherever you want. When it's only 40 men, 40 women, way easier to move it around to do international. International becomes feasible at that point. And
they flew him from LA to San Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Put him on a single plane
in the event.
Sitting next to your judge, right? Like, okay, you're attached to your hip, like.
Yeah, that's
easy.
Maybe that'll be the thing that drops the teams and drops like all the other events and competition just when this is over, maybe they're like, okay, we're going overseas and everything else is going to be its own thing.
100%.
Maybe they just were like super honest. Have you ever seen those ads where they're like, if ads were honest, right? And they just said, hey, you know what? You teams are high maintenance and you're a bunch of whiners and complainers. So get out.
I could personally deal with that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people.
Come on.
And then of course,
I know you work hard. We got it.
Well, so the first thing that would happen is, Morning Chalk Up would do an in-depth article about how teams athletes are having to see therapists and spend extra money on therapists since they feel so damaged by
CrossFit,
by the directness of CrossFit. Yeah.
Good. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say good.
But those
therapists need a job,
Yes, they do. At $250 an hour, they killed it during the pandemic. Killed it.
They're still killing it.
I know, and
I got some in my gym. They're like, they are swamped.
Yeah, they're swamped.
They're totally booked.
And the best part about it is because we have one here too that comes and he's got he travels to Jackson Hole. He goes to Orange County, hangs out down there. Is all of his stuff? The pandemic forced everything online, and he didn't leave online, which I wouldn't either. Like he can do all of his consultations with his with his clients online. It's like completely changed their.
I'm available at half the going rate, just so you know. And I identify as a fully licensed.
Tim is my therapist. Well, so here's what I'll tell you: is Tim is experienced because he practices on me, whether I like it or not.
Well, I have 19 years today of marriage therapy, counseling my wife. I am now a professional.
19 years you're now a professional
and an endurance sport therapist.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
It comes down to this. You know what it is? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Try harder.
2 words.
Yeah. See the backdrop of behind me?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Work harder.
Yeah.
And I'll offer myself.
I care. That's the difference.
We can go into business together because I'll offer myself. So all these team athletes that are going to be really upset by the drop in the teams and reallocated teams, you can direct message me, and I'll be their therapist because you've
got plenty of experience with that.
15 years of dealing with team trauma.
I've got a lot of experience with rejection, so I can totally help you.
I'm
here to help you.
Look, there was 1 year when they made the switch from like affiliate teams to pro teams. Remember the year they did that? Then Castro did that.
Oh yeah.
They went back and forth, like they were super teams or whatever, just let it go, and then they brought it back down.
I remember he made the big announcement, we're going to go pro teams, but I remember I've got team stuff on my wall. It's the most fond memories I have competing. Jamie Lee's a team athlete, and has been to the games, and it's like I have never, and I invested a significant portion of my life savings into a team sport athlete for fitness of the grid league and lost it all. So don't accuse me of being a team hater. I am a team lover. I just also am a team realist, and I'm a businessman and understand the economics of it all. So we want to preserve and promote the games. Teams have to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's not that they can't exist.
Hey, I'm a team athlete. I'm a former team athlete.
Yeah. So
did you know that I competed in the games?
Say, what team were you on?
But I will tell you that year, it's coming back to
2009 CrossFit Silicon Valley.
Really?
I was in the documentary for the overhead squat. I had the highest overhead squat. Did you know that?
Really?
You have some amazing
235 for 3. Remember you had to do a 3 rep?
Wow. I did not know that. We need to pull that clip sometime.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
CrossFit Silicon Valley.
I got it right here on my phone. No,
I'll have it queued up ready. I'll have it queued up ready when you're coming back on.
I got it queued up. I'm ready. This is my chance.
CrossFit Silicon Valley. I didn't know that.
Did you know? So here's a fun fact. So I have one of our members. She's on the production team at the games. And what was his name? Chad is the stat guy.
Yes.
Right? Like knows everything. So he had a stat. I don't even think I knew this. In 2017, so 2017 was the first year I made the games as a Masters. And he had a stat next to my name that said the first athlete to compete as an individual, team, and Masters athlete. And you have him on your podcast.
I would have put that. That would have been our clickbait, Jamie.
That would have been.
That could have been our clickbait.
I'm special.
Why are you just bringing this up now? What year were you individual?
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Hey,
it counts.
It counts.
Was there a qualification?
I made it to Sunday. Okay, I did the 30
qualification to get to that year.
What's that?
Did you have to qualify in 2008?
No.
Okay.
2009
is when you're going to.
I signed up in the first wave because then they reopened it to.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, that's right. You had to. That's right. You had to sign up
weird?
for your spot, right?
Here's the other thing that's weird is we were down there at Aromas with you, and like we never met down there, and we met, and when we did, I remember going to TJ's competition, his Masters competition. You were there competing.
Masters.
Oh, NorCal Masters.
And I was competing there at the same time. But that's a really cool statistic, actually, Tim. I'm actually
it's impressive, man.
Yeah, you can
been around.
You can hang out with me.
Stick around long enough, you know, you can make up some stats.
You can hang out with me a little more now. That's pretty cool. It's gonna be like
kind of a big deal, Craig.
Yeah, well, that's how I'm gonna introduce you. Well, because people go like, Tim, who's he? Well, he's a Masters athlete. No. Now I get something I feel proud to announce to you and talk to you about.
Yes.
First ever to compete in 3 different stages of category.
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Instead of, hey, this is Tim from CrossFit Palo Alto. Can you believe he still uses written journals in his gym?
Yes.
Now I have something else I can talk to you. That is actually really freaking cool. Yeah. And what's even more impressive is Chad's ability to remember statistics like that. That guy, I met him with Brian Friend outside the CrossFit Games about, 3-4 years ago. And he said to me that he said the same thing. Brian goes, hey, this is Craig. He goes, I know who this is. And he goes, CrossFit Games Changer 2000. And I'm like, who are you? Like, he knew like my events. That guy. If anybody in this audience thinks that Brian Friend is amazing, that Chad's really amazing. He's next level. Games geek. We have talked nothing about any of the stuff that we were going to talk about, but it's fun to.
We learned a new fact about Tim.
Factoids.
Yeah,
kind of like Cliff Clavin for the.
So the next big shoe to drop. So Dave announced the games. The next big shoe to drop will be Masters, whether or not, because there's so many rumors around Masters going to
move on
the Legends competition. It has been talked about, and Zia said that the folks at Legends are talking about it, which is that would irritate Dave. Like, he is so private but also very professional. Like,
for it to leak.
Yeah, he wants things done the right way, and for Legends to leak and be leaked out by the Legends people, I would think that would be enough to piss him off to pull it from him and find somebody else to do it, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that.
I know, no one wants to do it. The Masters.
You said shoe to drop. Speaking of, the Nano 2. are hard to find.
What do you got, a whole stockpile?
Well, I did order a bunch.
Yeah.
I did.
I have 2 pair and I'm going to get 2 more.
You sound like Nelly. I got 2 pair.
The Nano 2 is an amazing shoe because it's got a wide toe box. If you got a wide foot, or you should, if you follow any like Squat University or Knees Over Toes guys, you should have wider box shoes. You don't want to confine your foot space.
Should have something like this.
Oh yeah, Jamie Lee's. What's that shoe?
Vivo Barefoot. It's out of the UK.
Yeah, those are wide toe box shoes
and zero drop.
I'm
a minimalist. I love my Nanos, but I was always a fan of the ones.
Yeah, which were really.
I
like the stiff soles. I like the stiff soles.
Did you put them in the oven?
No, you leave them in the car in the heat. It fucking reforms.
Yeah, it does, and it reforms if you leave them in the heat. So
the U form.
Yeah, the U form.
Oh, look, Zia just texted me, and she said my rims were dialed in. Zia Rohrbaugh from CrossFit Counterculture.
She was on a couple weeks ago with Tim, right?
She was at the games when we guessed Fort Worth.
Yeah,
and she reserved rooms.
She did. That's right.
And she just texted me, my rooms were dead on. She nailed it. That's gutsy. And it was a good thing to do.
Yeah,
because
we talked about doing it too.
Because it saves a ton of money. And, she gets the rooms early, and she could always cancel.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's got rooms guaranteed. Everybody's booked. Everybody's going to book rooms now. I may book rooms just to have rooms.
Okay, they have lots. It's a huge place.
Yeah,
it's more than Madison, right?
Yeah,
Madison was. I remember the first year Madison did the games. It was the topic of there's nowhere to stay because there was not enough hotel rooms.
The only thing, the limiting factor, and I'll be a little bit of a like oof, and a little bit of a naysayer, is it does get hot as a mother in Texas, and so is it
humid like it was in Madison though?
It can be humid, but it's not often that humid. It just gets really hot. I mean, it can get humid, more humid than say Arizona, right? But it makes it difficult for outdoor events. So they will not be able to do a North Park, for example.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do a North Park, which is the North Park, for those that haven't been to the CrossFit Games, is the area where they do all the big outdoor events.
Outdoor stuff, yeah.
Well, unless Bill Henniger, creates something to block out the sun. They could build a giant shade
with air conditioning
and just brand it, right? Some laser etching with Rogue, and, the sponsors on there.
If they put out the bid to Texas, to Dickey's, they submitted a bid. Dickey's Arena in Fort Worth knew what they had to have in order to get the event. So they're going to try to accommodate everything that CrossFit needs to run it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more to this than just Dickey's Arena, I assume. There's probably somehow they're going to do swimming. They might have an indoor track. There might be a bunch of stuff.
Well, some of those attached buildings where they look like kind of like stockyard type of buildings.
Yeah. So. I think Ken told me that there is an indoor track nearby.
And they'll build in.
Zia was talking about that.
Yeah, Zia was talking about that.
Build in something in the stockyards because they'll make it very local flavor. So steer wrestling. Colton Mertens is the early favorite. Calling it now.
And look, if you're an international athlete and you're like, well, how come they haven't moved it to international? Well, first of all, there's not enough affiliates yet. You're getting there though. Europe's getting there.
Catching up.
You don't have enough athletes. I saw all the athletes.
The Euro is weak right now, and it's not going to translate.
That too. Jamie Lee and I were at when they did the walkout parade.
The flag, the
welcoming, the
yes opening ceremony.
Opening ceremonies, and all the athletes come out of the field. And I said, look, Jamie, there's why it's still in the USA.
It's like a third of the field was international.
1/3 was international. 2/3 was USA. Now that, granted, included teams.
Yep.
And
age group adaptive.
And age group adaptive. So that does heavily influence it. but there's not enough users internationally yet. So I think, and the fact that they've got a big international airport, that appeases a lot of people. Like you can get Dallas direct from almost anywhere in the world. So that's pretty cool.
I wonder if that's true. Somebody posted August 8th through 11th.
Oh,
well, wouldn't it be in the announcement?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
No, they just sent out that's what the email says.
I 100%, but I bet that's Yvonne that posted that. She's up front and watching the podcast.
It's in the email that you got. It's in your inbox.
August 8th through 11th.
It's almost like a coincidence that you're live and the announcement happens in everyone's email. And Brooke left Proven. And
Brooke left? I thought it was her sister left.
No.
She's going from Proven?
Yeah.
I thought her sister went from Proven to
maybe Brooke will go somewhere we'll teach her how to move better.
HWPO.
I shouldn't say stuff like that. Brooke's an amazing athlete, but Brooke, in my estimation, doesn't move it as well as she could. I'm
trying to find.
Oh yeah, she's going to HWPO.
So is her sister then, right? I just saw something. Her sister Sydney's going HWPO too.
Now here we go with all this camp jumping stuff.
Well, Savon was talking about this. I think just everybody's. No, was it Savon or? Well, it might have been Hiller talking about everybody. It was like an exodus going on over there.
Yeah, and look, I get it. And Tia's coming back, so they're probably like they don't want to train with the camp that's going to be training the next CrossFit Games champion. Did you just say that? Did you say
everybody's special? They need to be watched over.
Yes. And at this point, it's you're gonna get.
I mean, just think about it. Any other sport, any other sport, you get traded.
Yeah,
it's just they're just trading themselves.
It's a normal process. You got to find someone you click with and you align with, and then it hopefully goes well. Unless you're Sarah Sigmund's daughter, and it never happens.
Secret sauce. Somebody has secret sauce.
Sarah goes coach.
Could be another opportunity for
Sarah goes coach
barbecue sauce.
Poor Sarah goes coach to coach to coach to coach and ends up in the same spot. Katrin though made a big comeback as a result, I think, and that benefited her to go to hard work pays off. Right. So she didn't make the games the year before, and then she made the games, ended up back in her normal spot, which is somewhere in the top 10.
Well, this guy says that Sydney's staying at Proven. Maybe it was a sister tiff. Maybe it was a fight.
Yeah, MC.
Maybe.
Screw you. I'm leaving.
Sibling rivalry.
I had a couple of twins on my soccer team. It was hilarious, and they would fight. We had two sets of twins, Jay and Todd, and they would like fight with each other, go at it. And one of them, it was so funny. And then one of them looked at the other one. He's like, "Shut up, butt face!" And then he turns and looks at him. He goes, "Hey, idiot! I look just like you."
No.
And we all just laughed. We're just laughing at this fighting. We're just laughing. Even the coach was laughing. We're like,
"Oh, that's
funny.
Old.
Go over to the sideline, figure it out."
Where do you get your stories?
Oh, man.
It's called life, Greg. You gotta try and live it. That's why I said, hey, topics for like, hobbies outside the gym.
Yeah. Coach, in any other sport, you cannot get the time of day if you're not already a D1 athlete. We give everyone that effort. Yeah.
What effort? Who's
recognition.
Oh.
As in coaching?
Coaching?
Yeah, if you can't. Oh, okay, I get that.
Like you can't.
Yeah,
you can't keep giving everybody the same amount of effort if you're coaching. That was one thing that.
That's a good point.
I was listening to Daniel Brandon was on with Savon, and they were talking about how like when she was having some issues during the Olympic lift, she said that her coach is also. She's got another coach, but whoever's running the show is working with.
Just multiple athletes.
You can only give your attention so much.
That's right.
So
yeah, and if there are some athletes that need a lot of attention in competition.
Yeah, that's very true. Some people can be
that's a very nice way of saying.
Well, Yvonne, my wife, and really enjoyed having a coach available the entire time she was in competition. It's kind of a nice thing, and I get that. I'm more of a guy that's like, just everybody stay the hell away from me.
And like it's important to recognize that.
Yeah. and give me a couple of words of advice, and maybe if I look up at you in the middle of a competition, like
you're somebody that needs like just a glorified bag carrier.
Kinda. Yeah. It's just because
Craig makes it to the games.
You got it.
I'll take care of it.
Tim,
you could be
what the hell is that, dude?
You could be a therapist at the same time.
Tim would be perfect.
Craig, you need to try harder. How about we try? How about we just start by trying?
Hey, you know, you're just not good.
You need to start.
Not your thing, man. You should just try something else.
You need to get better. Just get better.
I did have that person down at the CrossFit Games in 2013, Coach Jorgie Finn, and he was that guy for me, and it was so refreshing because kind of blunt, direct.
That didn't go the way we planned, so let's just try harder.
Sarcastic and humorous approach works really, really well with me. Anybody that's worked with me knows that that's the best way. But there are athletes that that need and will take a lot of advice, and then they'll trust the person. And if you're not getting that in one of those camps, then by all means move on. Find some place where you'll find a coach that you connect with that'll give you that.
I mean, for any coach, like just as a coach, like if we have somebody that we're working with here and they decide that they need to try something a little bit different, it's not taking it personal. This is their journey. We're just trying to help them through the process.
Yeah. Yep. So that's interesting, but there will be more changes coming through the season, and none of it means that, and it doesn't mean that hard work pays off is better than proven. First of all, no one's better than Shane. I think, in my opinion, the guy's Tia's husband is he's brilliant when it comes to this stuff. And Matt knows what he's doing. I mean, Matt's no dummy. Froning and Mayhem, those guys know what they're doing. They have a different approach, and if you align with it, great. If you don't align with it, who cares?
Then go find somebody you do align with.
And by the way, if you're a fan and you're out there choosing your programming by what athlete goes where, dude, get the look at my sign behind me and listen to Tim and call Coach Tim. Sign up for Coach Tim. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right. You
sign up in my DM.
I'm gonna have to boogie out here in a few.
I can send you memes.
Yeah.
It's a cutting edge technique.
This is the episode where we say nothing about being an affiliate owner. We talked a little bit maybe about team drama.
We talked about affiliate cuts stuff.
Yeah.
But I have the most amazing business advice ever that's going to take you from zero to hero.
Oh, that's okay. So
we're going to table that for the next.
Well, no. Oh, yeah. That can either be something we talk about next time, or we can put that as like our cover sheet to got
to wait till the end of the podcast.
Yeah, you got to all the way at the end of the podcast. But that's going to be like our little meme cover that we have that shows up on YouTube. The best
thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail, because the thumbnail apparently is what draws people in to watch stuff.
Oh yeah.
What is that piece of advice, Tim?
What's that?
What is that piece of advice? The most amazing piece of advice that you're going to give everybody?
Well, number one, we kind of already touched on it.
Yeah.
First, you have to try.
Yes.
And then try harder.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
And you heard it here first. That works.
Do the thing that you're not doing.
Yes. And that works great for running your affiliate. It works great for also CrossFit and pretty much every endeavor that you're going to have in life.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works. You mean it's not just special to running a gym? You mean not anybody, people that have had failed gyms can't tell me what to do? No,
it's you go from failure to failure to failure to failure. And then eventually, one's going to click and you're going to have a great day, and then you're going to fail again tomorrow. So you pick yourself up and go again. Believe me, it's taken me 6 months to install a cold plunge correctly. Doesn't leak.
It's not the only water thing that's leaking.
Yeah. No. I fixed the other thing.
No, you didn't.
Which one? What's leaking?
The water fountain.
No, it's not leaking.
Yeah, it is.
Today?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Sorry.
Fuck off. No, it's not. It pisses me off if it's legal.
It's
Now we're watching therapy live. That's another thing. We could do live therapy.
By the way, cold plunge.
Let's get affiliated.
No. So someone probably dropped a dumbbell and hit it.
No, it was this morning. I looked around the corner because I opened this morning. It was dry, and then out of nowhere, it just starts dripping, and it's leaking like a sieve.
All right, so I'll fix it. But
maybe that's what we'll do is do a live counseling session.
Yeah,
I think that just happened.
Right. It'd be like kind of like a Dr. Phil type situation.
If you're gonna do a cold plunge in your gym, by the way, I will highly advise right now. One, you're not gonna make any money because we don't make any money on the cold plunge. We charge $3 for people to go in and use the cold plunge sauna room, and it's a lot of work. And you put a ton of work. Oh my god, just making it work because it's a kind of a you put it together. You don't buy the whole big old expense. Buy the whole expensive one.
I don't even give people hot water in the bathroom.
That's the cold plunge, cold shower.
And then it's just there's so many conditions. And then you get people to use it, and then the people don't shower that you tell them to shower, and they don't shower before they get in, and then all their gels and hair gels and everything get in. That lotions, and then you got a $1,500 cooling unit to cool the thing, not keep it cold all the time. And then that's got filters like the whole thing is just it's a whole nother endeavor. And if you want DM me or go into my calendar and make an appointment with me, and I'll talk you out of a cold plunge at your gym. But it's amazing.
I could talk you out of having kids.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anyway. So we did touch on some affiliate stuff.
Yeah, we did touch on affiliate stuff.
Can't help it.
Right on, you guys. Well, so Jamie's got to jump. We've gone more than our allotted time that we normally go.
I gotta go pick up my little one from school.
We'll have a special guest on that won't annoy everybody on the pod that listens to our podcast next week. And if we don't, we'll invite Tim back again.
Get more therapy.
Enjoy having you on, dude. Though, thanks for jumping on last minute and being a part of it. And you're going to the games next year, by the way, loser. You're not gonna miss the games. So
as a spectator, maybe.
Yeah, as a spectator. One of the ways.
Excuse me.
It's too close not to go.
No, you're going as a fan, and then you can.
You see how these things are poking out a little bit weird right now.
Tim broke both his shoulders.
Keep the rubber side down, man.
Rubber side down.
Yep. All right, you guys. Thanks very much for being on and joining us today. To our fans, we appreciate it. We do enjoy doing these.
Till next time.
Cheers. Are you ending?